सोचो एक ऐसा देश जिसे अभी-अभी आजादी मिली है. A country facing poverty, illiteracy, challenges that were touching the sky. और पूरी दुनिया, they were thinking, ये देश क्या ही कर पाएगा? But right in the middle of all this, India wrote a story that left everyone stunned. A story from carrying rockets on a cycle to flying our flag on Mars. बच्चों, आज हम पढ़ने जा रहे हैं हिस्ट्री का चैप्टर 7, साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी. एंड ट्रस्ट मी, दिस इज नॉट जस्ट अ चैप्टर. ये उस जिद की कहानी है, दैट डिटर्मिनेशन व्हिच पुट इंडिया ऑन द वर्ल्ड मैप एज अ साइंस सुपर पावर.
Right. To understand this incredible journey, two questions should pop into our minds. First, we all know Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam as the missile man of India. But why? What exactly did he do? And second, when all the big countries of the world were watching our every move, how did India secretly build its own nuclear power, apni Parmangu Shakti? The answers to these two questions are what we're going to uncover in this chapter, just like detectives. So chaliye, let's turn the first page of this story. In this chapter, we are going to decode those mind-blowing achievements that India gained in science and technology. We won't just study what happened, but we'll also learn about those super institutions that worked day and night to make this new India dream a reality. Okay, so right after independence, the country's first Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, he put forward a very powerful idea. And this term is extremely important for your exams: scientific temper. Now, what does this mean? In simple language, scientific temper is like a lens of thinking. एक ऐसा चश्मा, a pair of glasses, that makes you look at everything with the questions why and how, and not through superstition. Nehru ji believed that if India was to become a modern and progressive nation, then every single citizen had to wear these glasses. Logic first, superstition last. So, wearing these scientific temper glasses, Nehru ji thought, where should we take the first and biggest step? And the answer was, in the world of the atom, a power that people associated with destruction. Nehruji dreamt of linking it to the nation's progress. And to make this very dream come true, he laid the foundation for one of India's most powerful scientific bodies, the Indian Atomic Energy Commission. And bachcho, this date and name, star mark it in your notebooks, because this is a superstar of one-mark questions. The Indian Atomic Energy Commission was established on the 10th of August, 1948. And the first captain of this super commission, the first chairman, was the great Dr. Homi Jahangir Bhaga. He is also known as the father of the Indian nuclear program. This name is the foundation of our scientific history. Don't you forget it. So the commission was formed, but what was its mission? Well, think about it. A new country. So the objectives were exactly what the country needed. Let's decode this. First, produce electricity from atomic energy. This means bringing light to the country's dark villages. Second, increase the yield of food grains, meaning developing technology so that no one in the country sleeps hungry. Third, set up the technology for achieving this. This was about not having to ask other countries for help for every little thing. And last, develop nanotechnology. This was the vision for the future. At that time, people weren't even thinking about it, and our scientists were already planning to work on it. Can you imagine that kind of foresight? And yes, this is a potential 3-mark question for you. What were the objectives of the AEC? So make sure you understand it well.
All right, the plan was made, so it was time for action. And India hit 2 back-to-back sixers. First, in 1956, we built Apsara, India's very first nuclear reactor. Think of it. This was our science school, where we were learning the ABCs of nuclear energy, doing all the research. And once we learned, exactly 13 years later, in 1969, we built India's first atomic power station at Tarapur. This was our office, from where we started generating electricity for the common people. So, Apsara for research, Tarapur for power. Simple. Now, here our scientists made a move, like a grand master in a game of chess. They knew the world was running after uranium, and India didn't have much of it. But what we did have was a treasure, thorium. India has the world's largest reserves of thorium. So our scientists set up a research center in Kalpakkam, Tamil Nadu, with just one mission: to create technology that could generate power from thorium. This was our master plan for Atmanirbharta in energy. Absolutely future-proof thinking. Okay, now imagine a super fast sports car. To control that car, you need powerful brakes, right? Otherwise, there'll be an accident. Exactly like that, a nuclear reactor is a super powerful engine. And to control its power, to slow it down, the special brake that's needed is called heavy water. It's like a cousin of normal water, just a bit heavier. And India thought,
Why should we ask others even for the bricks? We'll make them ourselves. That's why factories for it were set up in places like Vadodara, Talcher, and Tuticorin. Self-reliance in everything. In this race for self-reliance, the year 1985 is a golden milestone. Near Mumbai, in Trombay, India started a new nuclear reactor, Dhruva. But what was so special about it? Every single part, every screw, its entire design, everything was made in India. This was the first major proof of our Atmanirbhar Bharat. We showed the world that we didn't need anyone's help anymore. And this Dhruva reactor wasn't just a showpiece. No way. It was a magic box that produced 350 different types of radioactive substances for the country. Now, don't get scared by this strange name. These are the very substances that help treat diseases like cancer, help grow better crops in farming, and are used to quality check big machinery. In other words, atomic energy wasn't just making electricity now. It was making our lives better in every single way. Now think about it. We had built the technology, done the research, even built the reactors, but to run this whole system professionally, to generate electricity and sell it to every household, we needed a proper company, a government company. And that's why in 1987, the Nuclear Power Corporation of India Limited, or NPCIL, was formed. Its job was to convert the science into a business model so that the benefits of nuclear power could reach every corner of the country. So what was this company's mission statement? Very simple and powerful. Just understand the 3 key words on this slide. They are the essence of this entire program. First, safe. Nuclear power can be dangerous, so safety first, zero compromise. Second, cheap. The electricity should be so affordable that every poor person in the country can use it. And third, environmentally friendly, meaning power that doesn't cause pollution. Nuclear power doesn't produce smoke, so it's better than coal. And all of this had one ultimate goal, to make the country self-sufficient, or Atmanirbhar, in energy. Until now, we've talked about the peaceful use of the atom, electricity, medicine, agriculture. But now we're entering a part of the chapter where the story took a very dramatic turn, the Pokhran nuclear tests. This was the moment when India, along with peace, also showed its strength to the world. This was the day India announced that for our security, for our safety, we also know how to use Parmanu Shakti, nuclear power. India demonstrated this power twice, in 2 different eras under the leadership of 2 different prime ministers. The first test in 1974 was during the time of Prime Minister Srimati Indira Gandhi, who was also known as the Iron Lady of India. And the second test, 24 years later, in 1998, was during the time of Prime Minister Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee, who was known for his poetry and his firm decisions. Let's study both of these historic moments one by one. So, the first explosion, the date, the place, the year, print all 3 in your minds. 18th May 1974. The place? Pokhran, in the deserts of Rajasthan. Think about it. Why was this place chosen? Because it was the perfect location for a top-secret mission, miles away from any population, and where there was no trace of underground water. That's why the test was completely safe, and nobody even got a whiff of it, until we ourselves told the world. When this test happened, the whole world, especially America, was in shock. India officially declared that our intention was peaceful, that we would use this energy for the country's progress, not for destruction. But behind this historic mission were 2 masterminds. On one side was the political will of Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, and on the other were 2 brilliant scientific brains, Dr. Homi Setna, who was the chairman of the Atomic Energy Commission at the time, and Dr. Raja Ramana, the director of the Baba Atomic Research Center. It was their team that made this impossible mission possible. But Bacho, every story has an official version, and then there's the real reason. And your textbook's Do You Know box tells you that real reason. Our neighboring country, China, had already become a nuclear power way back in 1964. And on the other side, Pakistan, with China's help, was desperate to build a nuclear bomb. In such a situation, caught between 2 nuclear neighbors, India had no other option but to conduct this test for its own security, for its self-defense. It was our need, our compulsion. It was a strategic compulsion. So what was the result of this test? America, the superpower of the world, got very angry with us, and they imposed sanctions on us, meaning restrictions. America flatly refused to give us any technology for defense, space, or missiles. They thought this would bring India to its knees. But they didn't know the spirit of India. Here, when someone throws a challenge at us, we become even stronger. And that's exactly what happened. India decided, you won't give us technology? Fine. Now we will build our own technology. That one no lit a fire under our dream of an Atmanirbhar Bharat.
And that fire of self-reliance kept smoldering for 24 years. And then came the year 1998, on May 11th. This time, we didn't conduct 1 or 2, but 3 explosions on the very same day. And one of them was a test of a hydrogen bomb, which is thousands of times more powerful than a normal atom bomb. With this test, India sent a clear message to the world. We have moved far beyond 1974. We are now a full-fledged, advanced nuclear power. Don't mess with us.
But even after this display of power, India did not abandon its policy of peace. The Prime Minister at the time, Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee, gave an assurance to the world. He said India will follow a no first-use policy. What does this mean? Think about it. It means we have the gun, but we will never fire the first shot. We will only use it if someone else fires at us first. It's a policy of defense, not offense. But sadly, America didn't believe us and imposed economic sanctions on us yet again.
Like I said, America's 1974 sanctions turned out to be a blessing in disguise for us. They showed us the path to self-reliance. And on this path, our most spectacular step was India's very own missile program. This is the story of our country's unsung heroes, those brilliant scientists and engineers who made us a power in defense that the whole world respects today. The foundation of this missile revolution was laid in 1958 with the establishment of DRDO, or the Defense Research and Development Organization. Its mission was crystal clear. Every weapon, every piece of equipment, every technology needed for the armed forces should be made in India. In the beginning, DRDO was working well, but in 1983, when its leadership came into the hands of a person whose passion was visible in everything from his hairstyle to his words, DRDO created history. That person was Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. And now we come to the man whose name is synonymous with this chapter, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. After joining DRDO, he started a revolutionary program, IGMDP, the Integrated Guided Missile Development Program. This was a mission to develop India's 5 most powerful missiles simultaneously. It is because of this vision, this hard work, and this leadership that today we call him the father of India's missile program, and affectionately, the Missile Man of India. This isn't just a title, it's the nation's respect for him. Under the IGMDP, India achieved success like hitting back-to-back sixes in the final over of a T20 match. In 1988, we successfully tested the Prithvi missile, and just the next year, in 1989, we tested Agni. And the special thing was that both these missiles were 100% indigenous. This success gave a massive jolt to the world, especially to those countries that had refused to give us technology. They finally understood that India cannot be stopped. All right, let's do a postmortem of the Prithvi missile. This is a surface-to-surface missile. In simple terms, a missile launched from the ground to destroy an enemy on the ground. 3 versions were made for our 3 armed forces. Look at this table, it's very easy to remember. Prithvi 1 for our army, which fights on land, Prithvi 2 for our air force, which attacks from the sky, and Prithvi 3 for our navy, which protects the country from the sea. Its range is 150 to 300 kilometers, and it can carry nuclear weapons up to 1,000 kilograms. This table is a jackpot for your revision. Now let's talk about Agni. The purpose of Agni wasn't just to hit a target. Its purpose was to send a strategic message. To whom? To our neighboring countries, China and Pakistan. With the test of Agni 1, which had a range of 700 kilometers, India made it absolutely clear. Don't you dare look at our borders. We have the power to strike back and strike back hard. This was our deterrence policy. Later, even more powerful versions like Agni 2, Agni 3, and now even Agni 5 have been developed.
Among the Panch Pandav of IGMDP, besides Prithvi and Agni, there were 2 more warriors. First, Akash. This is the Army's Suraksha Kavach, its protective shield, a missile launched from the ground to destroy an enemy plane or missile in the air. And second, Nag. This one is the tank killer. Its biggest feature is its fire-and-forget technology, meaning once you lock onto an enemy tank and fire the missile, you can just relax and have a cup of tea. The missile will automatically find and destroy that tank. All these missiles together made India's defense impregnable, or abhedya. So after strengthening our security on the ground and after gaining the power to retaliate in the sky, India's sights were set even higher.
Now our eyes were on the stars, on that infinite space. So let's move on to the final and most exciting section of our chapter and read the story of India's incredible space program.
And whenever we talk about India's space program, only one name comes to mind: ISRO, the Indian Space Research Organization. And look at its establishment date, 15th August 1969, our Independence Day. What could be a better symbolic date than this? ISRO's headquarters is in Bengaluru, which is also called India's Space City. And the place from where our rockets tear through the skies is the launch station at Sriharikota in Andhra Pradesh. This is the place from where India's dreams took flight. ISRO took its first major step in 1979 when we launched our first remote sensing satellite, Bhaskara 1. We launched it with the help of Soviet Russia. It was named after our great mathematician Bhaskaracharya. Now, what does remote sensing mean? It's simple: gathering information about something from a distance without touching it. This satellite became the Earth's eye from space. It would tell us where the country's water sources were, where precious minerals were hidden underground, and what the weather would be like in the coming days. All this information was like a gold mine for the country's development.
So students, that was the story of India's journey in science and technology. We traveled from the depths of the atom to the heights of missiles. Now, before we head into the exam hall, let's do a final, super quick revision so that we don't lose a single mark. Full focus on the screen now.
Let's start the rapid fire. Look at the screen. AEC, 1948. Dr. Homi Bhabha, Peaceful Atomic Energy. Done. DRDO, 1958. Dr. Kalam in the 80s. Defense Self-Sufficiency. Done. ISRO, 1969. Space Research. Done. Pokhran 1, 1974. Indira Gandhi. Done. Pokhran 2, 1998. Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Done. Prithvi, 1988. Surface to surface. Done. Agni, 1989. Strategic missile. Done. Take a screenshot of this table or draw it in your notebook. This is the ultimate weapon for your last-minute revision. One last thing. Just as Dr. Kalam, Dr. Bhabha, and thousands of scientists made their knowledge, their education, their power, and brought glory to the nation, in the exact same way your greatest power is your knowledge, your pen, your book. These are your biggest weapons. So always keep learning, keep moving forward, because you are the future of this country. All the very best. This lesson was brought to you by Galaxy Classes, created only for study and concept clarity.